Hey guys, I'm Katherine McNamara from Arrow and Shadowhunters, and I'm here at Famous Birthdays to do a little Q&A. So here goes nothing. First question. What do you find most challenging about acting? What do you find most rewarding? I think for me the most challenging and rewarding parts of acting are two of the aspects that have become my favorite. I think the most challenging thing is often the most exciting, where you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Every time I walk into a new job, every time I walk into any day on set, really anything can happen, and you have to be prepared not only with the work that you've done on the character and know the ins and outs and everything, but also be flexible enough to adapt to the situation as it progresses, be it a technical thing or something else. But it's always a challenge to figure out how each new character ticks and get inside their head and figure out why they make the choices that they make. It's a discovery that I always love. I think the most rewarding thing is something I've learned a lot through Shadowhunters and, now marginally through Arrow as well, is that these projects, we pour our heart and soul into these as we shoot them, and then to have them actually mean something to someone in the world and have some positive influence on their lives is the most rewarding thing. And, having the opportunity to have met a lot of the Shadowhunters fans and to talk to them and have conversations with you guys, it's really been so lovely to hear that, as passionate as you are about the show is as much, if not more so, passionate than we are about the show. So it's, that sentence didn't make sense, but there you have it. Which of your accomplishments are you most proud of? Goodness, I just saw a few clips of the Shadowhunters series finale, and I have to say, being a part of that family for so many years and having it be such an influential part of my life, I'm really proud of all of us as a family for the way that it all came together in the end. Something about Shadowhunters that I always loved is that every single person in every department was so passionate about the show and about challenging themselves and each other to really help the show grow and into something that the whole was greater than the sum of the parts. And I would have to say I'm really proud of everyone involved for how that turned out. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. If I could give any advice to my younger self, what would it be? I think if I had to give advice to my younger self, it would be just take a breath and hang on. It's all gonna be okay. I think we all just need that moment sometimes, just to take a breath and realize that, if it's not okay, it's not the end. What is something playing the character Clary has taught you? Playing Clary taught me a lot of things. Endless lessons. For one thing, it taught me how to fight, which is something I love because I'm now able to take that over to Arrow and continue to grow those skills and allow them to feed into a new character, which is a lot of fun. But one thing I loved about Clary is she was so flawed. She had the best of intentions, but she still fell flat on her face. She made mistakes constantly and was always trying to make up for them. And, even though she was half angel, having that humanity about her, it taught me a lot about being a human, I guess. That's something about Shadowhunters that I think a lot of people relate to, is that, even though they're all these supernatural creatures, ultimately, they're all human issues that they go through. Out of all the characters you've played, which do you relate to the most? Oof. Probably Clary, honestly. I always, think about this now that I've kind of seen the whole journey from 50,000 feet. There's been so many parallels between Clary's journey and my own in shooting the show. Clary on her 18th birthday was thrust into this supernatural world in this role where she had no idea what was going on and had to kind of sink or swim and learn how to navigate this new world and this position of kind of leadership that she was thrust into. And I felt the same way when I was cast in Shadowhunters. I was 19 years old. I'd never been in a position like that on a show before, and being thrust into this world with all of this responsibility of the source material and the fandom, trying to do justice by it. I learned a lot, but like Clary, I was lucky enough to have a team of people around me who became family that helped me learn and navigate the whole process. What is something most people don't know about you? What do most people not know about me? Well, I don't know if most people don't know this about me, but it might be surprising to some. I am basically a grandma. I bake, I knit, I carry caramels in my purse. I always have Listerine strips in my pocket. I guess, I don't know, I grew up watching movies of old Hollywood from the 1940s, and I guess I just absorbed a lot of those tendencies. I don't know. But I'm very okay with it. Do you have any upcoming projects? I do. We have season 3B of Shadowhunters, as well as our series finale that are gonna be airing next year. And Arrow will be coming out as well. I just shot my first episode, and I can't wait to tell you guys more. There's almost nothing I can tell you at this point, but it's very exciting. Tell us about a cause you're passionate about. There's many. One organization that I've been a part of for several years now, and actually just went to their first annual awards show, was the UN Foundation's Girl Up. And it's their young women's empowerment organization. They do so much incredible work all over the world for young women's education, health, and career opportunity. It's one organization that I love because they not only help girls all over the world, but they do so by inspiring young people in developed countries to help young people in developing countries. And they're bringing this world together and inspiring the spirit of unity that is something that we desperately need right now. So kudos to them for all the amazing work that they do. If I could spend the day with any fictional character, which character would you choose? Ooh, that's a good question. I would spend the day with Sherlock Holmes because I have always loved Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's work and the Benedict Cumberbatch show. But I think the way that he uses deductive reasoning is so fascinating, and I would love to be a fly on the wall, even if just for a day. Who inspires you? Throughout my life, I've always been inspired by the women in my family, particularly my mom and my grandma and her sisters, because I come from a science and medical family, and everyone in my family is either a scientist or a nurse or a doctor or something very incredibly intelligent. But all of these women who have these amazing careers that they're so passionate about and so dedicated to, they're also equally passionate and dedicated to family. And so for me, growing up as a kid, there was never a choice of, well, do you want a career or a family? The opportunities were always that both were possible. And I feel so fortunate to have grown up with so many badass powerhouse women to look up to. So they inspire me. What is my favorite fashion trend? I am very much a tomboy in a lot of ways, and I've always been one of the guys, and so for some reason I've always loved wearing suits. I think it's so classy and so badass, and so any kind of feminine menswear element that I can bring in, I think it adds an edge to any look, and it's slightly unexpected at times, which can be really fun. I like to surprise people. How did I get into acting? So I fell into acting backwards. I wanted to be an economist as a kid. If I had never found this, I probably would have ended up in developmental economics. But I was a dancer as a kid, and I ran into a family friend who needed a dancer in a community theater show. So I said, sure, why not? I'll try it. And I fell in love with it, and I've never looked back. I had this moment of clarity where I just knew that this is what I had to do for the rest of my life, is create characters and tell stories and hopefully, you know, hold up a mirror and reflect the human existence to someone out there in this world. And I've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do that for a living now, which is amazing. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Hopefully still working. In 5 years, there's a lot I'd like to do. I'd like to get back to music. I'd like to direct. something, just dip my toe in the water, because I've worked with so many incredible directors. I think it's something that I could really love and might have something interesting to say. What else? I'd like to do, just keep creating characters, keep challenging myself, keep reading scripts that scare me and conquering them somehow. It's my favorite thing about acting, is you're constantly challenging yourself, and when I read a script that scares me a little bit, it's an opportunity. I welcome the challenge, because that's how you grow. If you're not learning and growing in life, what are you doing, right? So thank you so much today. These were awesome questions, and it's been lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much.